I'm down at the usual spot where I test out brand new drones. This is my Gauntlet test here. There's a bunch of trees and we're going to see how the DJI Neo performs. I'm going to put it straight into the follow mode, no controller, just using the drone on its own. It doesn't have obstacle avoidance, so it's not going to avoid the trees, but I really want to see if the propeller guards do a good job of protecting the drone, and I just want to see what the drone does. So if it knocks a tree, is it going to continue following me? That's what it's all about in today's test. I'm going to launch the Neo straight into follow mode and I'm just going to walk around and see how it performs. Let's see what it can do when there are a bunch of obstacles around. So we've just got it in the follow mode. So let's see how this goes. I'm terrified of the magpies, but let's hope that nothing happens here. We just got following from a far distance. It's relatively low this time, but it's doing a great job, I can see so far. I'm just going to start going between the trees, going to the left, to the right, and we'll see what it can do here, if it can actually avoid everything and if it can keep up with me. It seemed to lose me just then, but it's kept back up again. Seems to do a pretty good job. I don't know whether it's actually going to intentionally stop as it notices an obstacle or whether it's just going to keep going. We've got a nice little gap here between 3 trees. It seems to try to avoid it. I don't know if that's intentional, whether that's just the path that I'm walking on. Seems to be doing a pretty good job though so far. I'm going to go between these trees here and we're going to try to get it to get really close and see what it does. I don't know whether it's going to try to avoid the tree. Okay, so it seems to actually stop. So it just stopped right in front of the tree there. And then it kept turning around and it found me. So quite smart, considering again, there's no obstacle avoidance on this drone. It has no idea about any of the obstacles. It just kind of sees it and maybe thinks, oh, there's something in the way. It's stopping me from continuing. So let's just see what it does as we go up here. Seems to be going quite well, to be honest with you. I'm quite impressed so far. I actually thought it was going to hit something well and truly before this point, but nothing just yet. Nothing at all just yet. It seems to actually be thinking a little bit, which is odd. It seems to actually notice that there's a tree and it seems to kind of move around the tree. So see how I've gone around that tree? It seems to actually try to do movements to avoid obstacles, which is very, very cool. I don't know if that is actually happening or whether it's just the path I'm going on. I'm trying to go really close to the trees to see if we can catch it out, but when it loses me, that's when it seems to kind of stop and then look around and then it finds me again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk directly around a tree, and again it just stopped again. So it's actually doing a pretty good job of avoiding, considering it doesn't have any obstacle avoidance. Oh, I think it just knocked the tree then. Ah, we got it. So I turned around and it looked like it was kind of scooting along the ground there, so it must have knocked something, but still, it didn't seem to struggle at all, which I'm very surprised. I thought it was going to knock into a bunch of trees. Let's launch it again and see what happens. And it's also in the far follow mode, so it does have a bit of distance from me. Seems to be going relatively low though, which is interesting. Let's just see what happens in this little denser area up here. We'll start darting around. It's funny because I actually have no idea because it's right behind me, right? So I won't know until I hear it hit something. Okay, so we've got a tree there. Okay, it does actually seem to pull up. So it seems to like notice something, it pulls up, and then it starts to look for me again. So if that is actually the case, if that's intentional, this is very smart because it could just keep going, right? It could just keep going, keep trying to track me and then hit something. Seems to be only if it gets caught out that it seems to knock something. So again, it stopped, pulled back. Maybe if I kind of like moved a little bit more in between all sorts of things. No, it definitely just keeps dodging. It's definitely dodging as it's coming around. So here's an interesting spot because we've got a bunch of trees here. Again, it's just stopping, noticing me, and then it's coming back. Very cool stuff here. I will have some links down below to check out a bunch of different drone deals. Now, if you are interested in the Neo, I do have a brand new bundle over on the D1 Store's website, which is DJI Australia for all of my Australian viewers. You can also use the code DANSTube on their website to save on most drones, cameras, and accessories. I will also have some international deals down below, so make sure to check all of those links down there. If you do have a DJI Neo, maybe you're looking to pick one up very soon, make sure to join my Facebook groups. I've got the Owners Australia and Owners Worldwide for the DJI Neo, so make sure to check them out. I will have some events, giveaways, all sorts of fun things coming to those groups very soon. I am currently hosting a giveaway for the DJI Neo, so also make sure to check the links in the description below to find out how to win a brand new DJI Neo. So this time we're going to have it following from far, but I've also got it to follow a little bit higher. So previously it was following at a lower kind of altitude. This time it's going to be far but high. So let's see if that trips it up at all. I'd imagine it would be very similar the way it's going to try to follow me. Okay, so let's see. This is now far, a bit higher, so it might get caught out on some other low-hanging branches or whatever. I mean, this is a perfect spot because there aren't really too many low-hanging branches. But we will see. It seems to do a really good job. I'm actually really impressed. I honestly thought it was just going to knock into everything. But it seems to be quite intuitive and smart. It seems to actually stop and try to avoid things. It seems to stop and look out for me if it's struggling a little bit. So like this is a tight little gap here that I'm going through, you know, and even as I start turning, it just keeps up. It stops and then it's going to start again. There's a tree. Yeah, it actually seems to be dodging it, which is very cool. It seems like it's trying to do some avoidance. Okay, so it's lost me. Okay, it avoided that tree though, got very close, but it's definitely avoiding a lot of these trees. It's like stopping, looking for me, and then when it's getting me, it's coming again. But straight when it notices some obstacles, like here we go, I'll go behind this tree, you know, so a perfect obstacle. It's actually lost full visual line of sight now, but then boom, it gets visual line of sight again. And it keeps tracking and it's trying to avoid all the trees. This is actually really impressive. They've done a great job with the Neo. Again, honestly, I thought this was not going to be the case. I thought it was going to crash quite a lot, but not at all. It seems to be careful, but at the same time, it's doing a lot of those cool maneuvers where it's trying to go around trees, it's trying to avoid, but also keep me in the frame. So it looks like it's still trying to plan ahead, which doesn't seem to happen with drones that aren't using the obstacle avoidance sensors, but I can see that it's trying to actually avoid me, which is very cool. So let's try here. There's a very tight gap here. I'm going to go on an interesting angle through the gap. So let's see, I go through the gap, back the other way, back the other way. This could trip it up. Let's see. No, nothing at all. Wow, okay, this is awesome. This is really cool. I know I'm walking at like a relatively slow pace. Different story if you're on, you know, a bike or if you're jogging. But yeah, very, very impressive stuff so far. This is doing a great job. Even considering I'm like going between a tree, I'm darting between it, and it's actually like going around all of these obstacles. It's literally going around it like it's got obstacle sensors. This is so cool. I've only had that one knock so far, and that's it. That's all we've had so far. So it hasn't been stumped with the higher tracking angle. It's at that far distance, still no issues at all. I'm going to try to get it to come around and we'll try to do the dart between the trees again. Let's see what this does. Nothing, no issues. No issues at all. It seems to somehow notice that there are things in the way, because I feel like the paths I'm going on, it should be hitting something by this point. It really should. On all the angles I'm going, I can see it literally darts around the trees. I'm very impressed. Considering this has no obstacle avoidance sensors, it's acting like it does. It's acting like it's trying to plan ahead, try to avoid obstacles. It's trying to do different pathways to make sure that it can continue tracking me, but avoid whatever's in the way. Very, very smart stuff right now. This is cool as. Okay, so last little test here. I'm gonna walk down this path of trees and we're literally just gonna dart between them and see if it darts around as I'm going around. It literally seems to be going around the trees. I don't know how this is happening. I honestly don't know how this is happening without obstacle avoidance sensors. This is actually impressive as. Even me like spinning around a tree, no issues. Let's go back this way, down this line of trees, and let's see if we can trip it up here. We've got a few, oh, sounded like it hit something then. We might have had an impact there. Okay, so we had a little bit of an impact and it seems to be landing now. So this is very, very impressive. Let's do one more final test. This is still in far follow. We're gonna see how it goes again. It's going a little higher and it's following from afar. This is the one here that it's probably going to struggle with, if it's going to struggle with any of them, just because there's a few really close trees. It's lost me. Let's go back and see what it does. Is it going to track me? Have you got me? Okay. So it seems to have lost me here. Don't know what happened. What just happened then was actually what I thought would happen a lot. I thought it would see an obstacle and then just stop following. And I thought that that was going to keep happening. But again, like I keep saying, it actually predicts the path and it seems to go around obstacles. Like it's noticing that it's trying to follow me. And it notices that there are trees and it's darting around the trees. It's still doing it. So I'm impressed because it could just stop. Like it's losing visual line of sight at times and it's still just going, which is really impressive. So right now, it doesn't have me at all, but it's picked up on me again because I've come out and about and now it's still following, no issues at all. So cool. This is really, really cool. Let's try this tree. This tree here might just be tall enough to put it off. Let's see. Nope. Again, just avoids the tree, darts around, continues to follow me. No matter how close I get to the trees, it's doing a really, really good job. Okay, this is impressive stuff. So we're gonna get it to land now. Nice and simple to land like that. Love it. How good's that? I was actually genuinely surprised. I did not think it was actually gonna do this well. I thought it was gonna knock into trees constantly. And I thought it would see a tree and just stop and not continue following. The fact that it's intuitively thinking about, okay, well, there's a tree here. I need to kind of come around and there's Dan again. Let's keep tracking him. That was very smart. That's the kind of technology you have in like a higher end drone. So something like this in the Neo, something this affordable and it's able to continue following is very impressive. Obviously I wasn't walking too fast, but I was darting between trees. I was going around trees. It very rarely lost me. And if I came back out again, it would pick up on me and start following straight away. There was 2 impacts that it had. One of them, it hit the tree and then it kind of just landed. The other one, it seemed to hit the tree and then just landed directly down. But besides that, really, really impressive stuff. It did an amazing job, better than what I thought it would do. I'd love your thoughts in the comments below though. Let me know what you think, guys, and I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.